Can you dig it, sucker?
Nice.
Yes. Nerds.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Hey, yo.
My life, my money, my legacy.
Shaquille O'Neal makes an explosive AEW Dynamite debut. Welcome to the Wrestling Never Sleeps podcast. I am your boy, Jared Never Sleeps, with my very, very handsome host, the straight shoot in a suit, Adam Anthony James Martin. Adam, how are you doing today, man?
Woo, I am pumped up, excited. We switched programming yesterday night from NXT from the previous week to AEW this week, and what a show it was. I got my Kafifi in hand. I'm normally not a coffee drinker, so I might seem a little bit wired today. But again, that's also the excitement because last night's show was highly, highly entertaining, Jared.
Yeah, and you know what? Actually, since you mentioned NXT, I watched the show late last night, AEW, and then I watched a couple highlights of NXT because I saw online people were talking about the women's match. They got screwed. So I went and figured out and saw like how they got screwed. Did you take a look at that match at all?
I really didn't pay attention to anything that was going on at NXT. Again, I just saw tweets here and there, and I did see that similar outcome of them getting screwed or something weird going on with the outcome of the match. But nonetheless, we still have tag team like the reigning tag team champions are Jackson Baszler.
Yeah.
But if you don't mind, oblige me, fill me in.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, really quick. This is what happened. Basically, let's see, what's their names? Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, right? Okay.
Yep.
So Kai tags in Gonzalez, right? Gonzalez spears Nia Jax outside the ring. They do like a flip thing over the table. So they're both Jax and Gonzalez are knocked out in the back of the table. They're the legal.
They're both legal.
They're both the legal people, right?
Okay.
So then Shayna Baszler grabs the other girl, puts her in like what's her finish? Chicken wing or whatever. The clutch. So then out of nowhere, Adam Pearce comes out of the I forgot one part. So the ref got knocked out when
bump.
Yeah, ref gets knocked out. So the ref's gone. Shayna Baszler grabs Dakota Kai, puts her in her finish. Adam Pearce comes from the back with a ref, and he's flagging the ref over. The ref comes out, and it's a SmackDown ref. The ref comes in, and Dakota Kai basically passes out. So the match is over, even though neither competitor was the legal person.
Controversy, I can see that.
Well, it doesn't make sense. The girl that lost the match wasn't legal. Like, I'm just kind of like,
the girl that won the match wasn't legal.
Right. So, and to tie that in, why I'm tying that in is because we made that switch. You know, we tried to watch NXT last week, and then Dynamite was kind of explosive just to even start with Shaq and Cody Rhodes and Jade Cargill and Red Velvet. What did you think about the Shaq match?
Do you think actually, before we get into the match itself, do you think AEW took a page out of Raw's playbook by putting that big match front load the show like they did with Sheamus and Drew? Do you think that was the intention there, or do you think this was the plan right from the get-go?
You know what? I was actually a little surprised that opened the show up at first, only because Shaq is a huge name, mainstream name. He's one of the greatest athletes of all time. So I figured they would make us, that would be the main event. They would make us watch the show.
Wait.
Yeah, in a more tasteful fashion that the Raw did with the Bobby Lashley Miz kind of restarting every 2 minutes, 2 hours, I should say. But once I realized that I think that was the right move, only because it's kind of like it's like a free sample of what you're getting out of AEW. So they start with the mainstream names. They start with Cody Rhodes, who's a great worker. Jade is just extremely attractive, red hot. She's a commodity. You know, you don't really see women that look like that. So I'm thinking, if I'm a fan just flipping through the channels, I've heard oh, Shaq's wrestling on this, and I take a look, it would intrigue me. And I think that was the right way to start off the show, being a new promotion, where casual fans would be like, oh, I want to stick around for a little bit longer, you know? So
Yeah,
I definitely think that was smarter than putting them in the main event.
I agree with you. I think if there was the main event, I think a lot of more people would have tuned out a lot earlier in the show.
Yeah.
I think they would have lost a lot of viewership, and a lot of people might have actually gone over to NXT. Being Shaq, bam, front load the show, and what a match. I was really surprised by a lot of aspects of this match itself. I'll leave the big one for the last. But obviously, Jade Cargill, wow, she can move.
Yeah,
she can put on a show inside the ring. She's got the look, the image, the attitude now.
Mm-hmm.
We know when she first came out and when she was more on the microphone, she was stumbling out of the gates. But that's what happens when you put
brand new
on national TV.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of time for them to develop that comfortable level and being more secure with their character themselves and more confident as well. Obviously, those jitters out the window this week when she teamed up with Shaq. Couldn't say anything bad about what she did inside the ring, how she presented herself, and obviously the outcome of the match. She made it happen. She pulled it off with Shaq. Now going to Shaq, I really liked how they utilized him in this match. They didn't do anything too much. And
Shaq could work a little bit
because obviously there was a massive bump that him and Cody both took, but it wasn't like it didn't look like it was pre-planned. Like it just kind of happened organically. It looked like as a viewer of the show, and next thing you know, Shaq and Cody are going through two tables that were previously set up that Jade set up.
Yeah,
Red Velvet the match. So that was really, really cool to see. And I just hope the big man's okay, because for him to do that on AEW TNT television, for that brand to get the viewership up, for him to take that bump at his age, that was pretty cool to see. I'm not gonna lie, that made me pop.
I was on a Clubhouse call, and I'm watching it on my TV, and I'm on the Clubhouse. I'm like, oh, when they went through the table, and I was just like, okay, bravo AEW. Like, for those of you guys who watch the show, you guys know we're not the biggest fans of AEW, but the way the use of Shaq, the way the match was set up, even the way Shaq worked, they definitely gave my respect. I think Shaq works better than the Great Khali and the Giant Gonzalez and stuff.
Giant Silva, the oddities, all those big guys.
Yeah. So awesome spot for Shaq. And of course, there's going to be comparisons to how AEW uses their celebrities and how WWE uses their celebrities. And I think that was better than the Bad Bunny splash by far. I think that was a great way to use Shaq. And as soon as he went to the table, I was like, oh, this is going to be all over the place tomorrow. This is going to be on Inside the NBA. This might be on ESPN. This might be on so many different places, because it was just a really, really cool spot, in my opinion.
No, for sure. He works a hell of a lot better than Carmelo and Dennis Rodman ever did. So props to Shaq, and double props for taking that bump. I can't say it more than enough. You got to have big balls to do that. First time, literally, I think that's the first time, like, literally he's actually been in like a real match. Yeah. So, and of course, being in there with Cody's always got to be really cool. Someone that, really can work with him, has the experience level to help him, guide him through that match, take the leadership role in that match, and set him up for big things, which they obviously did. And by the time that the pinfall came and Jade's hand was being raised, it was just like, okay, light the fireworks. This was awesome. We got a show now going, and I'm just ready for the rest of the show, no matter what they throw at me. They put me on such a positive mood right off the get-go that no matter what was going to happen, I was going to be excited for it. So
yeah, I think that's, you hit the nail right on the head. It was something that you wanted to see more. I want to see more Shaq. I want to see more Shaq in the ring because of this match. He worked pretty decently. Like, it seemed like he understood the psychology of wrestling. Sometimes when you see non-wrestlers get in the ring, like I remember even Donald Trump when he was at WrestleMania and he's like punching Vince, but he's not even like hitting his head at all. Like, Shaq got the idea of like, okay, how to fake fight, how to make it like not look ridiculous.
Yep.
So I'm definitely excited to see more Shaq. I would even be up to them having him on Revolution, like, we're gonna do a rematch, but that would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, he's got to come back, right? Because you got to think that Cody has got to get the one up back, right? Like Cody's
like a best of 3 series or something, or best of 7.
He can't let this settle. Him losing to Shaq and Jade. being a Rhodes, being Cody. It's not gonna sit well with them. So, obviously there's gonna continue on with this whole thing. There will be, a part 2, I assume. And hopefully maybe even a part 3 if they do it right. So it's gonna be exciting to see where they go with this.
And the other the spot I really liked was they put Shaq in the ambulance, they go to commercial break, they come back, they're looking to get a word from Shaq in the ambulance, which is weird that they didn't drive off in the ambulance. They waited for the commercial break, but that's fine. But they go and get a word from Shaq. They open the ambulance door, he's just gone. And so now it's kind of like a to be continued thing. So I really like that he's out of the ambulance and something else is gonna happen. And it wasn't like the way the Fiend or Alexa Bliss would just disappear. It was just actually
maybe he's playing board games with Dexter Lumis on NXT.
Yeah, right. So I guess this saga is going to be to be continued. So then segment 2 was a really short match. You had Pac and Rey Fenix versus John Skyler and D3. 2-minute squash match.
Yeah, just a filler, I think.
Kind of keep people's levels down.
Yeah, I think so. After that excitement, you had to bring it down really quick, something to squash it really quick. And obviously, 2/3 of the what are they called? Death Triangle. Pac and Rey Fenix, 2 phenomenal athletes, amazing team. And I like that trio with Pentagon as well. And yeah, they just went out there, did their finisher basically. And that was it, just to move on to the next segment. A great little filler. I guess those guys on the air didn't really do too much for the other 2 guys. Again, no offense, I don't remember your names.
Yeah.
But at this point, for me personally, it didn't really matter. The point was just to, transition from the first segment to the third segment. So this was a nice little filler. You put 2 exciting guys out there, make it really quick, keeps them strong, even though it is a squash. That's the whole point of it. I liked it. It was quick and easy.
Yeah, I think the whole point of it basically was because, everyone was hyped up over the Shaq thing and Cody Rhodes thing. I think it was just designed to give Pac and Rey Fenix some kind of mainstream shine, just the momentum coming from the Shaq match to show people hey, these are our guys too, just to get that little glimpse of, who they are. And because we're going to see those guys in the future, I think they're going to build the company over on top of guys like Pac and Rey Fenix. So,
for sure.
I get why they did that. And then the next segment was the Chris Jericho and MJF press conference, which again, you put the big Chris Jericho name, built on top of the Shaq thing. How did you feel about this segment, the press conference with Chris Jericho and MJF?
It was cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cheesy. It was really cool to see a couple of the people that were asking questions, though. Especially what do they call him? Eric B.
Eric B. Who's Eric, an R&B singer's name out here? It's like an R&B singer's name.
Exactly. Eric Bischoff.
Yeah.
Had really good valid questions. Made a really good point. And someone asked about Sammy Sammy as well.
Yeah.
So altogether, though, I think it was really cheesy. I didn't think it really did too much for the segment. There was a brawl at the end, I believe.
Yeah, I did like. That I did like.
That was cool.
Young Bucks come out, which, I mean, they waited for them to talk. After they bloodied their father, but okay, that's cool. It's wrestling, whatever. Yep. But yeah, shots were fired in their promo. They said that if it wasn't for us, you'd be at the Performance Center jerking the curtain. And it's they mentioned WWE, people pop for that type of stuff.
No, exactly, for sure. And they brought the subject of their dad building the wrestling ring, in their backyard, and the history behind there very briefly. Made it very emotional, very passionate, made it seem a lot more real of a storyline or a feud. It's got really personal, since Papa Buck being attacked, and obviously it was Santana and Ortiz trying to get the jump. But Jericho and MJF had no problem doing it, the bidding and setting it all up. And, it kind of builds a little bit more towards their match at Revolution. It makes it mean something a little bit more, especially with the brawl at the end. And again, the Young Bucks, who are normally known, for me personally, as a comedy tag team or a spot tag team.
Yeah. They look terrible.
What's that?
They look terrible physically to me. Like they just out of shape guys.
Exactly. They look like me when I do this.
Yeah, right.
No offense, guys, but I look terrible when I do that. So I'm never going to do that again for you watching. But I think this made the match a little more important, going into Revolution. Obviously, that's the goal, to get up those pay-per-view buys and stuff like that. And I think they did a pretty good job, especially with the brawl and the schmoz at the end.
Yeah, and I think there's little subtle directions you can go. Like you mentioned, they did mention Sammy Guevara, so that's there still. And then Santino and Ortiz are the ones that went through the tables. So I mean, how do they feel about that? It's like, dude, we just like, we're getting our asses kicked because of you guys now. So there's so many different directions you can go with the dissension of the inner circle. So again, like I like the slow burning, long-term storytelling of that. Which I thought was cool. And the table spots was cool. Like one did a swanton bomb and one did I think
and then the elbow drop.
Yeah, yep. At the same time.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. Again, just a little extra excitement, a lot of fun, while watching this program that last night. So question for you though, before we move on to the next segment, what do you think is actually going to happen with Inner Circle? Do you think Sami and MJF are plodding together to get rid of Jericho? Do you think this is legit heat and dissension between the unit? Do you think they're going to form and go their own ways eventually? Do you think Sami and MJF are, like I mentioned the first time, plotting against a guy like Jericho, who seems to be hogging the spotlight from them?
Well, I think it's going to go down to MJF is always going to be heel. He should always be heel. So it's going to be a situation where I think Sami turns face, and I think MJF is going to turn on Jericho. He's going to say something like, "I've been using you this entire time," and then you could have MJF versus face Chris Jericho, or you could have Sammy Guevara versus heel MJF. Sure. So again, I like that they've been really building this story over a year's time. I could probably do without like the trip to Vegas and the dinner debonair and stuff like that. But
the Bublier sing along.
Yeah, I can appreciate the fact that they're putting time and not just making this happen in 2 weeks, like a WWE. I'm not, I'm gonna try not to compare too much. Just let AEW be what it is. But
they're not rushing it.
Yeah, they're not rushing it, which I really can appreciate, because I miss those type of storylines where things aren't rushed.
Yep, and agree. I mean, not mentioning or bringing up other names, but we've seen it with other programming or other brands where they really rush through something just to get to somewhere else.
Yeah,
and it's like, no, if you just let this develop,
just build, let it slow burn, baby.
Slow burn it, exactly. And you're not leaving money on the table with the whole storyline, and you're not wasting time. You're not just doing a quick transition. You're actually making it mean something, and you're making it worthwhile for both the athletes, the fans, and of course the company building these two guys up.
Yeah, and the fact that this is going in so many directions where we don't know where it's going to go. Like it's not too projected. We have no idea. All I can say is I'm pretty sure MJF eventually is going to turn on Jericho.
Oh, for sure. But he has to, right?
Yeah. And then what if they win the tag team championships on Sunday? That's another dynamic to the story.
Probably dissension, like we mentioned it with the other show. Dissension probably if they do that tag team route where they just try to one up each other every single time in a negative way rather than a positive, motivating way to both elevate themselves. It's going to be more focused on individual accomplishment, I think, if they were to do that. Right. And again, being, hey man, like you're taking my spotlight now. You've had your time, it's my time. And again, like you said, he's gonna turn Jericho face maybe down the road.
Yeah,
if not, I think Sami is gonna be with MJF and get rid of Jericho together and try to run the ship together. But again, obviously there's gonna be dissension, so you could later, eventually have them challenge each other, like you were saying before. So there's a lot of dynamic to this. It's really cool.
Or, I mean, things are starting to open it up here. Maybe Jericho has to take a little break. So, yeah, you're right. So, Sami and MJF kind of ride Jericho off TV for a little bit. And, he comes back later on as a face and he wants his revenge. So, it's going to be really interesting. This is an exciting car wreck I'm watching on TNT on Wednesdays.
We call it the clown car crash.
The clown
car
crash.
It's not just one person in the car. It's 7 people in the car.
Right.
And when all those clowns come out of the car, you never know which sides they're going to be. You never know which colors they're wearing. You never know what they're coming out with. So it's just so unexpected all the time. It keeps you on your toes, the edge of your seat, and that's what entertainment is all about. Keeping the viewer's interest, which I find the other guys. Great in-ring performance. And again, not to compare because it's 2 totally different products, but when the entertainment value is not there, but the talent is, it's highly disappointing and really hard to watch. And it's really hard to stay motivated trying to review. And it's really hard to get behind that sort of product. But when you see another product like this, that is, basically going all out, They're kind of bringing us back to that Jerry Springer trash TV era, which we all grew up on and and are familiar with and are comfortable with watching and enjoying. And from the last time that I watched AEW consistently to watching it back to it last night, they've grown. And it wouldn't be fair not to say that, because they've definitely, the reason I stopped watching AEW, and we're a little bit off topic, but it was because I just found it so ridiculous,
outlaw,
nonsensical,
mud show,
exactly. But watching last night, everything seemed to line up and prepare everything for Revolution, which is the whole goal. Nothing seemed out of place. They didn't overdo their time lengths on any segment. I think it was a well-oiled machine. So it's just
I would absolutely agree on that. And originally, I did not like AEW at all. We spoke about this before. Yeah, I just thought it was like a little bit too ridiculous with the Orange Cassidy stuff. The booking decisions were a little bit weird, like Jericho versus Orange Cassidy. Or I've seen spots where I've seen spots where like the Young Bucks were holding their opponent's feet till they could do their spot. It was like, oh, this is just trash. But I have to give them an A for effort. They're putting a lot of investment in their product. They're trying new things that don't necessarily work sometimes, but they are moving forward with the product, especially in the hardest year it was to start a wrestling promotion where there was no fans and there's so much uncertainty. There's health issues. They had deaths in their promotion, which was, that's never even easy to deal with. So I really got to give them credit, and I have to again root for them to succeed, because this is, when they succeed, it's just good for good for everyone in the community. It's good for everyone in this wrestling who are wrestling fans. For
exactly,
sure.
100%. Without them right now, I think other programming would be even more bland. I think it would be, this at least kind of pushes, even though it might not be a war, in my opinion, or it might not be a war to one side compared to the other. But it's at least, they can't not deny the fact that they're being pushed, or feel like they're being pushed to do something different than a formula that they were doing all of last year or the year before. So it's good for everyone, like you said. I'm excited.
And I'll actually segue to that with the Big Show came out. I'm sorry, Paul Wight came out with a really cool shirt. No more BS. You thought of that. No more BS. So again, they're pulling out all the stops. Big Show says he has the scoop, the inside scoop on who's going to be the next AEW signing. It's someone who has a Hall of Fame career, who's not in the Hall of Fame yet. I don't know which Hall of Fame he's talking about, but he says
The Observer.
Yeah, right. Best Booker of the year, Tony Khan. So this is very intriguing. It makes you want to watch the pay-per-view. Who do you think is going to be the next signing?
Now, was it word for word? But was it a potential Hall of Famer or a near future?
He said that it's someone who has a Hall of Fame, who's had a Hall of Fame career
so far. Okay. Well, it can't be the guy that I originally thought, because I was kind of hoping maybe that they would be Mike Benoit. But I don't think it's Mike Benoit, because just the wording itself. Obviously, Mike Benoit hasn't had a Hall of Fame career so far.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it kind of puts my thought at a roadblock, because I'm trying to think. It might be someone like Kurt Angle. It might be someone
Hall of Fame.
Yes, he's on the Hall of Fame.
Which Hall of Fame? But what's Hall of Fame? Yeah, right.
I can't see it being Brock. No way, shape, or form, because they got Lashley on that side now, and he's so loyal to that brand. No way he's going over to that, like AEW.
Well, Brock it can't be worth the money, because you don't have the talent over there. You don't have the size over there for it makes sense. Like, you can't Brock versus Marco Stunt. Brock versus
that'd be hilarious. I'd pay to watch that.
Yeah, right.
I would pay to watch
30-minute main event. I'm gonna cross my fingers. I'm gonna cross my fingers.
3 seconds.
Yeah. I'll cross my fingers for Phil Brooks, aka
You're hoping Punk.
CM Punk.
You're hoping Punk. It's just based off of previous statements from CM Punk. I don't think it's him. If it is, yes, that would be amazing, depending on which role they give him. Do I want to see CM Punk in the ring performing regularly? No, not at his age. But can he be utilized in a very, very, very beneficial way for the company? Of course he can. It's CM Punk. Just give him the mic.
Give him the microphone and let him shoot.
Don't tie him down. Don't handcuff him. Just go out there, be Phil Brooks, be Punk.
Yeah.
Say what you want to say. Do what you want to do. put us down, build us up. But again,
I think Punk's worth the money. Punk's definitely worth the money. Brock wouldn't make sense because I mean in WWE, Brock can work with Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton. He can work with bigger people. I mean, I don't even think he's necessarily loyal. It's just that it doesn't aesthetically make sense for him to be in AEW. It'd be like it's like Brock Lesnar being in NXT. Like who do you have to fight? What big names where it makes sense? Maybe Brock and Kenny Omega would be a draw. We've already seen Brock and Moxley. They didn't work together well.
No.
Yeah.
Brock to me is loyal to WWE. I think he's just him and Vince are on the same page. Paul Heyman's relationship with Brock Lesnar says a lot about that as well. Basically pretty much a mentor, a guidance, a guy that basically walked him through his entire career and got him essentially, other than his own natural talent, to the position within WWE to be the guy that he is.
Right.
Obviously his physical physique, his natural physique, his talents and his ability got him to a certain point. But if it wasn't for Paul Heyman being that voice, I think he's so loyal to that company that he would pretty much destroy anybody and anything and avoid working for anybody else rather than, not being WWE.
And
if you had someone else that you could think of, say, okay, no Punk, no Brock. Any third options that you have off the top of your head?
It can't be Hogan. It can't be Flair. Oh, they're in the Hall of Fame already. Who's not in the Hall of Fame? Who is not in the Hall of Fame? Who's a free agent? Or is it a sort of is like AJ Lee? Or is it a woman? Is it? Well, I think he said a line like he said something to the effect of that he has a history with this person. So is it X-Pac's in the Hall of Fame? Scott Hall, Kevin Nash. We got big shows in wrestling for 25 years.
I'm trying to think. Trying to think of any tag teams that he had, other than Jericho and The Miz, because he was the Miz show. They were Jericho show.
That's what I'm saying. It has to be CM Punk. It can't be Kane or something.
But he doesn't have history with Punk, really.
Oh yeah, you're right. Do they?
That's
they
the
don't,
thing.
right? They never.
I don't think they do. No.
Yeah.
Punk and Taker, Punk and Triple A, but I don't remember Punk and Big Show.
That would be crazy. Imagine Undertaker walks.
He's already a Hall of Famer, right?
He's not in the Hall of Fame right now. He's not in the Hall of Fame yet. They have history together, but that would be insane.
That'd be a slap in the face,
right? And then he can't even be Undertaker. He'd have to be like that's preposterous. He'd have to be like Mark Calloway.
He'd be or he could mean Mark again, or go back
Dead
to
Man Mark or something.
Mean Mark Callis, go back to his old school name.
But let us know in the comments who you think is going to be the new AEW signing. Leave us some love in the comments. Let us know what you think. And join the conversation on Twitter, on social media at #WrestlingNeverSleeps.
Because I'm trying to think, it's
we'll see on Sunday.
I'm trying to think of someone that's recently but within the last 5 years that hasn't been doing anything significant since leaving WWE. I'm trying to think of that type of person. And
and with a Hall of Fame career. Yeah. I would have to guess it's Punk. It has to be Punk. I don't know. I can't think of anyone else. And I don't think anyone else that would make a huge impact, which would be a huge surprise. Like Punk would make the most impact, I feel like. He's been going. They probably
thought Paul Wight was going to be a little bit more bigger of an impact than what they've done already too, right? Like they brought Paul Wight in, thinking, "Oh my God, we got Paul Wight."
Yeah,
but literally, he's just a commentary guy, and he's going to announce something at Revolution. So far, nothing special, right?
Right.
We could have got anyone to do this.
So next up we have.
What about sorry to cut you off, Jared, but what if it's an announcer? What if it's someone not a performer in ring? What if it's like a Hall of Fame bound commentator like Mauro Ranallo, which I've had people ask me about?
Yeah, but
tomorrow.
But they don't have the show. They need like they need an extra show for that. Well, they do like the three person booth. They do like the 3-person booth. So it could be Show, Morello, and what's his guy's name? Shivani. That could happen. That's possible. Yeah. But moving forward, we have FTR and Tully Blanchard versus Jurassic Express. Fun little ridiculous match. Yeah, 6-man, another tag match from AEW. That's what they like. They like tag team wrestling.
It's like the Japanese style of format when it comes to events.
It was fun to see Tully just get in there and just bump around and just be an old man.
I want his suit.
Yeah, right. I definitely want his suit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
One
yeah,
for the
I
money,
actually I
two
think I
for the
kind of
show.
yeah, I liked it. I kind of like this match. The only spot if I could have a criticism of this, the double suplex they did where Dax grabbed his partner's waist and they did a suplex like
Yeah.
what's his name? The dinosaur. What's his guy's name?
Luchasaurus.
Luchasaurus, yeah. He suplexed one and then he suplexed his partner, which is weird. Like, why would you do that? But
Yeah, it was really weird.
fun little stupid match, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. The only one that I like in that whole tandem with Jurassic Express is obviously Jungle Boy. We've talked about him before. I think with the right training, the right performance center, no pun intended, with the right staff, guiding him on how to properly and professionally work as a non-indie guy on national television, he could just boom right to the top. I've always said it before. I would love to see Jungle Boy eventually in NXT.
Yeah.
I think the toolage there and the guidance there would just be phenomenal for someone like him and, really elevate his career. Right now, he's, still learning himself. He's still figuring himself out. Obviously, having the background of being a Perry, Luke Perry's son, 90210, baby. The guy's got natural talent. He looks good as an athlete, maybe a little bit more muscle mass if he wants to get to that really top level. But other than that, he's such a good performer already. I couldn't see how that wouldn't benefit him down the line. Right now, I think he's stuck in limbo with these two guys beside him, talking, walking, breathing, living dinosaur man. And then you have, I don't even know what to call him. You have Marco Stunt.
Yeah. Eventually, Jungle Boy's have to get away from those two.
A knee high bouncer, that just bumps around and is there to take a beating.
It's a comedy act.
I don't find it comedy at all. I find it really sad and depressing actually whenever I see him on TV because I feel bad for the kid. Yeah. It's like -1, who we'll talk about later. Like, it's just like, what do you? I might get heat for that, but fuck.
Right,
this is a wrestling program. This
from
is
the Marco Stunt
sports entertainment.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sure to tag Marco Stunt in this, so all the Marco Stunt marks come for you.
Can hear me? Yeah,
in
light
the comments.
me up. Because I don't agree with it.
He has the best work rate.
What do you think of Jurassic Express? Just before we get on with the match itself, the match was fun. Totally was fun. The slingshot suplex, baby.
Yeah,
I love that move.
Yeah, that was cool. Again, entertaining match. Wasn't meant really to be taken seriously. I think it was more on the sports entertainment side. Maybe again, people flipping through the channels, they check out Tully Blanchard. They're like, oh wow, I remember him when I was a kid or something. So, as far as Jurassic Express, again, he had the 4 horsemen, and JJ Dillon was out there as well. We've got to mention that. But yeah, Jurassic Express, it's a decent little mid card act. I guess it would get. I'm sure they'll sell some merchandise with the masks, Luchasaurus mask and stuff like that. Jungle Boy has a great look, pretty decent gimmick. I think he's cool. So I think I'm okay with Jurassic Express for now. But I do want to see.
Reaches their own.
Yeah, I do want to see Jungle Boy get out of that. It's kind of like Biggie in the New Day. Like, okay, we can do the comedy, but at some point you gotta kill the comedy. And it's same thing with Luchasaurus. Like, dude, you are like 6'8", you can do flips, you're extremely athletic. Why are you a dinosaur?
I don't want to see a guy 6'8" doing flips. That's my thing. I want to see him work like a guy that's 6'8".
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to see him doing the kick. Like, the kicks are okay, I guess, to a certain extent, in my opinion, as a fan of someone that stature and size, but I like to see him work like a big man. And maybe that's just the old school in me. Yeah. But I don't want to see a guy like that, dressed up as a dinosaur. I mean, yes, it sells probably a shitload of merch for the kids and that demographic that they're aiming it towards, which is great because, everybody loves money. It's a huge part of, continuing life. Exactly. But the guy, again, we saw him in NXT, we saw him in WWE as a different character, and he was just a big badass type of guy that didn't get over there. I mean, it's working for him, but I'd like to eventually see him grow out of that as well, become something more. Potentially what could break the deal is get rid of Stunt, no offense.
Yeah. Well, it completely buries him. If Jungle Boy goes in his direction and Luchasaurus goes in his direction, Stunt is cooked. Like that's
have Lucha turn heel, take them
that's his
both
career.
out,
Yeah.
injure Marco Stein, like not literally, but write him off, have him destroyed by the dinosaur, and then you have Jungle and Lucha, and that's how you build Jungle Boy, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see that next probably 2 years or so.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They're still
Hopefully in the next year and a half.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd like to see Jungle Boy and Darby Allin challenge for that TNT.
Jungle Boy is going to be a Hall of Famer. Jungle Boy is going to be a main event kind of guy next, I would say 2-3 years.
2 years.
2-3 years, yeah.
For now, though, I'd like to see him challenge for that breakaway, like you said, go for the TNT. Even if Darby has it, it'd be a really cool concept to see Darby Allin and Jungle Boy go at it one-on-one in a match. I think it'd be a really good entertainment match.
Speaking of TNT Championship, you love my segues, don't you? We have Preston Vance versus Max Caster, and the winner gets a ladder match spot on Revolution, and that winner is going to challenge for the TNT title. Thoughts on this match here?
No thoughts, really. For me, Darker 10 should have won, in my opinion. Now you have half the Acclaimed in this ladder match. Is it like a Money in the Bank concept, kind of?
Sort of. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
The only and it's a decent match. The only thing I thought, and again, not to compare the companies, but we reviewed the Elias versus Damian Priest match, which was kind of boring from Raw, and there was rest holds in it and things like that. And it instantly reminded me of that, and I was thinking like how this match was just a lot more entertaining and a lot more action. And I was like, okay, well, if you have to have that kind of like your up and coming mid card guys on TV, this is probably how you should present them. It shouldn't be presented the way Damian Priest has been presented to us now after being pulled up, So
I just don't get
it, again, like a filler match, but it's like, okay, this is okay. That's what
I just don't know where they're I just don't know why they're splitting up the tag team to put one half of a tag team in a singles match scenario. I don't like it. Keep the Acclaimed as the Acclaimed. 10, by all means, have them in this match because, again, it looks like they're still pushing Dark Order pretty strong, despite everything that happened with the unfortunate situation. Obviously, everyone knows about Brody Lee, but they're still pushing Dark Order strong. And I think this is the strongest week they've really ever looked. They didn't seem so much of a comedy act. They seem
not a joke anymore.
They seem like, they're taking a little bit more serious other than -1.
Yeah, and they're babyface. It seems like they're being booked as babyfaces now. The Dark Order.
Yeah. It's
you kind of have to turn them babyface.
I think you have to with everything that happened.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it. Fans were going to do it for you no matter what.
Yeah.
So, but they seemed a lot more serious. They seemed like they were out there for an agenda. Unfortunately, 10 didn't get the win, which I would have liked to see. Because he does have the stature, the size, the capability of being someone a little bit more than just a number within that company. And
literally.
Literally. Overall, though, it was just a filler. I don't get the concept of breaking up the Acclaimed and putting one of their partners in a singles match scenario at Revolution. If anything, don't you think is like someone injured, or is that why they're doing this, or do you think that the Acclaimed should have been in the tag team battle royal?
It's probably like you just needed some guys for the ladder match.
Lack of talent.
Because I don't see like who's gonna win that ladder match anyway. I don't see anyone really. Maybe Cody is probably gonna do it.
Is Cody in it?
Yeah, Cody's in it.
Okay, who's in this ladder match now? Because this is gonna help paint the picture.
Let me pull it up.
I feel bad for not knowing, but I don't. I've been watching NXT. So
AEW Revolution card. Let's take a look at who is in this match. I know Cody Rhodes is in this match.
And this is all for the challenge.
Cody Rhodes,
the TNT.
Yeah, challenge of TNT. So it's Cody Rhodes, Scorpio Sky.
Ooh, yes.
What the heck? Where'd it go? Penta El Zero Miedo, Lance Archer.
Oh.
And who won? Max Caster?
Yes. The Acclaimed.
So, those guys. And then one guy it's a mystery person. So
okay, so 6 guys in total.
Yeah, and then
one guy's a mystery guy.
Yeah.
And Darby Allin's competing with Brian Cage at Revolution?
So it's Darby Allin and
tag match.
Yeah, it's Darby Allin and Sting. So it's like Pikachu and Raichu versus
Yeah.
versus Brian Cage and Ricky Stark.
Right. Yes.
I love Ricky Stark.
Do you?
Hey, I love Ricky Stark. He's like Ricky Martin for wrestling.
I don't like the faction. I don't know, just something about that faction I don't particularly like. Maybe there's just too many factions going on right now in professional wrestling or sports entertainment. Maybe that's what it is. And for me, they're just getting lost in the shuffle. The whole Sting thing with him just coming out and just to give Tony Schiavone the spot of going, it's Sting.
Yeah.
I'm tired of, I heard that all through my teens.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear it now. It's cool that he's back by all means. Really weird that he's taking the bumps that he's taking.
Yeah,
almost took another power
but
bomb.
The splash looks good. I'll give him credit for 61. The splash was pretty good still.
Oh, the Stinger splash was beautiful. And Darby Allin coming out obviously to save him from taking another power bomb this week. Kind of builds up that tag match. What do you think of Darby Allin and Sting long term? And where do you think they're going to go with this once the whole that whole Taz thing is kind of done? I know we're not close to that Taz thing being done because obviously Darby's got to defend it in a one-on-one match against probably everyone from that stable before they, finally move on. But where do you think Sting and Darby go after that whole thing is done? Do you think Darby collide?
I think you're gonna see Sting in like that Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard type of role, mentor. He's gonna be on TV every week managing. Maybe he's kind of like Darby Allin's security, where he has to interfere in matches here and there and things like that. So because Sting's 61 years old, he's not going to be able to wrestle all the time. He's gonna have to be in tags, and they're gonna keep him on TV because they're paying him good money, and Sting is still a big name in the industry. But I don't really see him getting involved too much. You'll probably see him wrestle like maybe 4 times a year, if that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. You're not going to see him on regular TV programming, taking bumps and everything like that, especially at 61.
Yeah.
But I guess what I meant to ask was, do you see Sting and Darby Allin maybe parting ways? Any possibility anytime down the road?
Well, I guess they kind of have like the same gimmick. They're just weirdos with face paint. So I kind of see them being together. I don't see a feud. I don't see a heel turn coming. Like, a kid versus an old man. So I don't see that. I just think they're gonna probably be just together for a while. Because I don't even think Darby Allin could be elevated to like a main event. Seeing he's gonna be like a solid mid card guy, pretty decent worker, pretty decent gimmick and everything like that. So I just don't see him in that main event role. So it's probably gonna be sticking to like Sting and Darby Allin as like a group.
Yeah,
I think they should.
Unfortunately, you have to factor in, the merch sales for him again, outside of the ring aspect of it all, outside of the program itself, outside of AEW, merch sales for Darby Allin are probably through the roof.
Yeah.
Because he relates to so many kids, just like Sting used to with the mask, the paint, the dark, the black, everything, the whole crow gimmick and stuff like that. And again, you just can't turn Darby Allin or Sting heel.
No, not gonna happen. Yeah, you don't need to. So. Or maybe Darby Allin he loses the TNT title, he gets a tag team partner, and he can go on and fight somebody else. Maybe
I don't want to see him in a tag team.
I mean, there's limited options of what you can do with him, and there's so many tag teams on AEW. So maybe Darby Allin gets a partner and Sting's in the corner, and they're feuding with FTR or something like that. Because then maybe you can do like the whole Tully and Sting thing, or maybe you can do the little Arn Anderson and Sting thing, because the
idea of Sting doing what Arn Anderson's doing right now means boring.
Yeah.
And why are they paying him all this money just to do what everybody else can do?
Right. Yeah.
Just for a name. I get that. It's Sting. Yeah. But if you're just going to have him do what Arn's doing, you might as well just get Arn to do it. He's already there. He's already being paid.
Right.
And he's already good at it.
He's very good at it. And then you have Jake the Snake there as well. You also have Jake the Snake. You have Jake the Snake Roberts there as well.
Exactly. Like, you got too many managers, too many stables, too many tag teams.
Yeah. I think it's gonna mellow out once they have like a second show. They really need that second show. Probably on
distribute the talent a little bit better.
It's probably on Thursday. Thursday's the only night with no wrestling now, once NXT moves to Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. But they already have Dark, they have Dynamite, now they have Elevation. So they got 3 shows pretty much.
It's Dark. Well, it's like it's YouTube shows. So I don't know if we. I'm talking about national television.
National.
When I say
I
show,
don't think
yeah,
they need the
TV.
national television deal to do that. I think they can distribute it for YouTube because it's 3 different shows, right? So they're still allowed to, put a certain amount of talent on each program. Only have a certain amount of time for each show. And again, they get to distribute it, whether it's on YouTube or not. It's a lot more accessible on YouTube, probably. So I don't think it has to be national.
Well, I mean, as far as like from the business standpoint, just having national television on, like, let's say a Thursday. Now they're getting ad revenue from sponsors. You can give these guys a little bit more shine because they, AEW Dark and AEW Dark Revelation, like they're going to be 1 hour shows. So just to have like another 2 hour chunk. I mean, I'm sure in 2021 having more content is not going to really hurt their product, especially when you have people. There's a lot of moving parts now. They have the Forbidden Door open. So they probably want the extra 2 hours to kind of get some money, get some more guys over, and continue to grow their brand. So I can see in the near future, 5 nights of wrestling for sure is going to happen.
Why not just cancel the 2 YouTube shows and just put your show on Thursday then on national television? Put 4 hours instead of 4 hours.
Well, I feel like the national television shows, the national television shows will be more sports entertainment, and then the YouTube shows will be more wrestling.
More wrestling, building the undercard up.
Right. So that's how I see they're probably going to be building.
No, for sure. Yeah. I was just curious on what you thought of it. And I'm thinking, obviously you can use those YouTube channels to promote and, get, like you said, fresh meat over a little bit more, get them familiar with, being on camera, the environment of, AEW and how they like to produce matches and, they're filming and, everything like that before they step onto national TV. It's almost like their development sort of, you get through YouTube. We're going to put you on national television.
Yeah, because some people like wrestling and some people like sports entertainment. So if you can give people both, it is a new promotion.
I'm a wrestling fan.
It helps people grow. It helps the whole business grow.
Yep.
And next up,
yes,
we have the main event of the night. We have a John Silver and Hangman Adam Page versus Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn. So Adam Page is starring to me. I think he also has the best. Adam Page is a star to me. Hangman Adam Page. That guy's a star.
They messed him up though. They messed him up in my opinion. We'll talk about that.
I think outside of Jericho too, he might have the best entrance music in the whole. I hate AEW entrance music. It's all terrible. It's like,
I love MJF's. I was gonna say MJF's. MJF's is probably the best in the company, and then Hangman Page's.
Yeah, with the horses on the Titantron.
I love the little gallop at the beginning.
Yeah, so that's a cool little gimmick. So this match, very surprised for it to be a main event on a show that was kind of loaded, but just different things and very entertaining. Loaded in the sense it was entertaining and you had different surprises and it was a decent show, I would say.
Yeah, but not loaded with like top star power by all means, but it was really exciting. And again, like I mentioned before, it just seemed to fly by so fast. Like 2 hours did not seem like 2 hours. It seemed like a 1 hour show because everything was just the way they timed everything. Everything that was presented, the entertainment value. It was, and again, though, going back, like even though this was a really fun, exciting show, it just seemed like, this is your main event now. Like you front loaded your show with Shaq and Jade versus Red Velvet and Cody. We had the big table bump, but the cool thing is, you didn't see anything like that through the rest of the show, so it didn't take away from that opening segment. Right. It's not like everyone did a dive. Everyone, went through a table. Yeah, we saw the segment with the Bucks and stuff like that. Sure, they put through Santana and Ortiz through the table, but it didn't take away like, the Shaq bump was. It didn't take anything away from that. They just a good constant flow, and they didn't overdo anything. Yeah. Which, again, that comes from experience with production and producing and, not falling into a comfortable level of a pattern when it comes to their match styles and like how they present their matches. So it didn't really feel like a main event. It felt like the show just gradually dropped level by level by level in terms of star power and what they, the matches itself. Yeah. But it didn't seem like that at the same time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. It kind of exposed them for their lack of star power because this main event really needed some type of big names, but they used up all their big names in the beginning of the show. But I understood why they did that because they were banking on the Shaq crowd, the casual fan crowd. They wanted to really get those people aware of the product. So they had to really kind of front load the show. But when they start adding a couple more names, maybe they can pull some talent from WWE. I don't think there's too many mainstream guys left that they can actually sign right now. But I would say that this kind of exposed the lack of main event mainstream guys they had. But other than that, even though John Silver is like completely undersized, I liked what I saw in the ring from him. Dude's freaking strong. He's like military pressing people, and he's only like 5 feet nothing or whatever. Like I said before, Hangman Adam Page is a star. Some people might know who Matt. A lot of people know who Matt Hardy is.
Oh yeah.
The character work at the end when they're staring at each other's eyes and he's getting the pin, and Matt Hardy's because he has a feud with Hangman on Sunday for the money match, and they're staring each other's eyes while he's right. They're actually wrestling for money. It's not a money match. It's
but they're wrestling for each other's payday.
Yeah,
for the first quarter of the year.
Yeah, but the character work of Matt Hardy as far as like the stare down when he was getting pinned was I think was a cool little ending. And then like the whole schmoz where everyone just hits the ring, everyone who's in the battle royal hits the ring, and you see -1. Sorry. Does this kid ever go to school? Like he
doesn't need to.
He has the best life ever. Just he gets to be a wrestler at like 8 years old.
He kind of looked really confused at the entrance, like he didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
he's looking around, like
I like the -1 stuff. I think he's to be 8 years old. He's got a pretty decent character. I like his gimmick.
Put him on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, he's
not
on
the national
TV.
television show. Stop milking the Brody Lee thing.
They are.
I'm sorry, people, but if you disagree with me again, let me know in the comments. And by all means, I'm open to any opinion. But this kid is on a national television show
every week.
Why are they? I get it, Brody. Yes, respect is respect. They treated him. They, it's cool to have him out there. Great experience for any 8-year-old, for anyone in general. Yeah. But stop utilizing him as we wouldn't put Kobe Bryant's kids in an NBA game. Exactly.
It just it's unfortunate things happen, but he doesn't have to be on TV every single week. I think.
I don't see Hulk Hogan's daughter. I don't see Noelle Foley interjecting herself in every story. I don't see. It's because they're not talented. They're not ready. It's because they just don't belong there. And I'm sorry, but
they just don't
hate on me just for it. It's cool that he got to do it. It's awesome that AEW, valued Brody Lee, and rightfully so. The guy's amazing. We saw all the reaction, online from every person that he worked with, and everyone that he was involved with had nothing but great things to say. But it doesn't mean you have to put your kid on your national television program. Make him the leader of now, which looks like they're going in a serious manner again, with your stable and Dark Order. I just don't get it. It's cool that they let him do it. It's cool that they brought him in. It's cool that they're taking care of Brody Lee's family, and are showing that passion and love because, it's well-deserved and earned. But the fact that -1 is out there every week.
Every week.
Bring him out as a specialty, or let him feel involved on Dark, or being a member or the leader of Dark Order. Put him on Dark, or the new show, or
give him an Instagram account. Let him go ham.
Damn it! I feel terrible for saying it.
Yeah,
I feel bad. I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I'm sure I can't be the only one that feels this way. That if you take wrestling as serious as I do, although this is sports entertainment, it irks me, damn it.
Yeah,
I should be allowed to say it.
We don't need to see him every week.
No, we don't.
Yeah, I would agree. What do you guys think about -1 being on television every week? Leave us some love in the comments. Let us know what you think. Before we wrap up, how would you rate this show?
B-.
Yeah,
I'd say C+ or a B-. Again, because only because they front loaded the show, and then it kind of every match.
Yeah,
seemed like it was dropping in terms of star power, which we talked about, the lack of depth. They used their MJFs, their Jerichos, their Inner Circle guys. They used Shaq, Cody, Jade, and Red Velvet at the beginning of the show, and then they basically just filtered through the rest of the roster to fill in that time. C+ or a B-. It flowed amazing. It didn't make me feel like I was watching a 2-hour program. It didn't make me want to change the channel or even think about NXT or the opposition on Wednesdays. It kept me at the edge of my seat because I was like, okay, what's going to happen next? Because this is a beautiful car crash that was presented last night. And I'll keep it at that. It was magnifique. But yeah, C plus, B minus. What did you think, Jared?
Yeah, I would think I would say it was a solid B plus. I really it wasn't a chore to watch.
No.
It was front loaded action. I popped a few times. The stuff that didn't need to be long wasn't long, which was great. You know, stuff you don't really, you know, oh, this might be boring. They just cut it, you know, they just cut it out. I think the ending was good with the huge, like, just fight that just broke out with all the stars. And it definitely hyped, and it made me excited I'm looking forward to AEW Revolution because of this show. And I'm not the biggest AEW fan, so I have to give this guys an A for effort, but a solid B plus show for sure.
100%. We will be watching and reviewing Revolution for all the listeners out there then. Is that what you're saying? Did you just drop a bombshell?
That's a surprise. Audience? That's right. We will be reviewing AEW Revolution. So look out for that. That will be on Monday morning.
Yes.
So,
but before that, we have one more show this week.
Yes, we'll be reviewing SmackDown tomorrow. That'll be out Saturday morning. Yeah, and a lot Sunday. To go on. And then Sunday, yes, we have our straight shoot Sunday. Or are we going to do our preview? Who knows? You guys have to make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter to know what's going on at the Wrestling Never Sleeps conglomerate. So make sure you guys follow us, facebook.com/WrestlingNeverSleeps, instagram.com/WrestlingNeverSleeps, and Twitter at WNS_TV. So I think that about wraps up for this show.
Your personal information, in case anyone wants to ask you a question, shoot you a hashtag at Wrestling Never Sleeps via Twitter or any platform like that, Jared.
Sure, you can reach me at JR Never Sleeps, and you are at Real Adam Anthony, at Real Adam Anthony.
Yes, I can only use 2 of my names because it won't fit all 4.
Yeah, you have like I'm telling you, your name is a freaking faction. You have Adam, you have Anthony, James, and Martin. I'm trying to figure out which one's gonna turn heel on the other.
I was gonna say, which one's the leader?
It's definitely Adam, baby. Yeah.
By far.
Yep.
Another great recording with you, bro. I'm enjoying this. We're technically past the 1 week period now, I believe. Are we past the 1 week? We're a week and a half.
This is I think we've done what, SmackDown twice. So this
6
is the
episodes.
second
Yeah,
week?
SmackDown twice.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So this is like a week and a half or so.
No, SmackDown twice. You're right.
SmackDown twice. Yeah, this is week number 2.
It's snowballing so fast for me.
Snowballing, baby. Yes. But thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the notification button to get more videos like this if you like our content. For my very handsome co-host, Adam Anthony James Martin, the straight shoot in the suit. I'm your boy, Jared Never Sleeps. Thanks for watching. And of course, it's still real to me, damn it. Good night, good morning, and all that good jazz. See you guys Saturday.